The autumn sun hung low over Istanbul on October 2nd, 2018, casting a golden hue across the Bosphorus. In the bustling district of Levant, the Saudi consulate stood as an unassuming diplomatic outpost, its beige facade blending into the city's eclectic skyline. For Jamal Khashoggi, a 59-year-old Saudi journalist, the building represented a necessary stop on his path to a new life. He was there to collect documents, certify his divorce, a formality required for his upcoming marriage to Hatice Cengiz, a Turkish academic who waited anxiously outside. Khashoggi, with his silver beard and thoughtful demeanor, exuded a quiet confidence as he kissed Cengiz goodbye and stepped through the consulate's gates at 1:14 p.m. He promised to return soon. He never did. Khashoggi was no stranger to the corridors of power. Born in Medina in 1958, he had spent decades navigating Saudi Arabia's complex political landscape. As a young reporter, he covered the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, forging connections with figures like Osama bin Laden before the latter's descent into extremism. Khashoggi's career took him to the editorship of Al Watan, a progressive Saudi newspaper, and into advisory roles within the royal family. But his relationship with the regime soured under Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, whose sweeping reforms masked a ruthless crackdown on dissent. Khashoggi's columns in the Washington Post, written from self-imposed exile in the United States, criticized the Crown Prince's authoritarianism, from the arrest of activists to the war in Yemen. His words, sharp and unflinching, made him a target. Inside the consulate, a meticulously planned operation awaited. Turkish intelligence, which had bugged the building, later revealed the chilling details through leaked audio recordings. A 15-man Saudi hit squad, flown into Istanbul on private jets, had arrived in the preceding days. Led by Mar Abdulaziz Mutreb, a senior security official close to the Crown Prince, the team included Dr. Salah Muhammad Al-Tabaji, a forensic expert, and members of the Saudi Royal Guard. They carried a bone saw, plastic bags, and a grim determination to silence Khashoggi forever. As Khashoggi entered the Consul General's office, Mutreb greeted him with a false warmth. "Let's make this quick, Mr. Jamal," he said, according to transcripts published by Sabah and Al Jazeera. The team demanded Khashoggi send a text to his son, Salah, to create the illusion he was unharmed. "Write it now. Help us, so we can help you," Mutreb pressed. Khashoggi, sensing danger, refused. "What's going on? You're not going to kidnap me, are you?" he asked, his voice steady but laced with unease. The response was swift and brutal. The team overpowered him, injecting a sedative. "I have asthma." "Don't do it, you'll suffocate me." Khashoggi gasped as a plastic bag was forced over his head. His final words, "I can't breathe," echoed through the room. By 1:39 p.m., the sound of a bone saw filled the air, dismembering his body in a 30-minute procedure. Tabaji, chillingly detached, reportedly suggested his colleagues play music to drown out the noise, a habit from his autopsy work. Outside, Hatice Cengiz paced nervously, clutching her phone. Hours passed with no sign of Khashoggi. Consulate staff dismissed her inquiries, claiming he had left through a back exit. But a body double, dressed in Khashoggi's clothes, had been seen leaving to maintain the ruse. The hit squad wrapped Khashoggi's remains in plastic bags, placed them in suitcases, and removed them from the consulate. His body has never been found, leaving Cengiz and his family in perpetual grief. Saudi Arabia initially denied any wrongdoing, insisting Khashoggi had left alive. But Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, leveraging the audio evidence, orchestrated a drip feed of leaks to the press, forcing the kingdom to revise its story. By October 20th, Saudi officials admitted Khashoggi had died in a fistfight, a claim ridiculed as the audio revealed no such struggle. The Saudi Attorney General later conceded the murder was premeditated, aligning with a CIA report that concluded, with high confidence, that Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman had ordered the killing. A 2019 UN report by Special Rapporteur Agnes Calamard called it a deliberate, premeditated execution, holding the Saudi state accountable. The murder sent shockwaves through the international community. Khashoggi's death exposed the dark underbelly of Mohammed bin Salman's regime, which had been lauded in the West for reforms like granting women the right to drive. Evidence emerged that Khashoggi's phone had been hacked with Pegasus spyware, giving the regime access to his private criticisms and plans, including his support for dissident groups like the Bees Army and meetings with lawyers suing Saudi Arabia over its alleged 9/11 ties. His killing was not just personal. It was a warning to all who dared challenge the crown prince. In Saudi Arabia, closed-door trials began in January 2019 for 11 unnamed suspects. 5 were sentenced to death, 3 received prison terms, and 3, including senior officials Saad al-Qahtani and Ahmed al-Asiri, were acquitted. In May 2020, Khashoggi's sons, living under Saudi oversight, announced they had pardoned the killers, leading to commuted sentences. Cengiz decried the outcome as a mockery of justice, noting the lack of transparency and accountability for the masterminds. The trials failed to address who ordered the killing or where Khashoggi's remains were. The U.S. response was conflicted. The Trump administration, prioritizing Saudi Arabia's role as an ally and oil partner, downplayed the CIA's findings. President Trump called the murder the work of rogue killers, dismissing calls for sanctions on Mohammed bin Salman. In 2021, the Biden administration released a declassified report confirming the crown prince's role, but opted against direct penalties, citing diplomatic costs. Instead, sanctions targeted lower-level operatives. Lawmakers like Adam Schiff criticized the decision, arguing it emboldened authoritarian regimes. Turkey, too, navigated a complex path. Erdogan initially vowed justice, but by 2022, transferred a trial of 26 suspects to Saudi Arabia, effectively shielding them. The move reflected Turkey's need to mend ties with Riyadh, prioritizing geopolitics over accountability. Turkish prosecutors had sought life sentences for 18 suspects and charged 2 others with inciting murder, but the transfer ensured no convictions. 6 years on, as of October 2024, human rights groups like Amnesty International and the International Press Institute continue to demand an independent investigation. The path to justice remains blocked, said Agnes Callamard, now Amnesty Secretary General. Khashoggi's murder highlighted a growing trend of transnational repression, where regimes target critics abroad with impunity. For Cengiz, the loss is personal and profound. Jamal was my soulmate, she told the BBC in 2019. They killed my hope, my future. Khashoggi's legacy endures in his writings, which remain a beacon for free expression. His death exposed the fragility of dissent in the face of authoritarian power and complicity of nations that prioritize alliances over justice. The Saudi consulate in Istanbul, once a place of routine bureaucracy, became a symbol of brutality, a reminder that for those who speak truth to power, even diplomatic ground offers no sanctuary.